Hello, students. Let's begin in this first part of the Leadership Challenge lesson that we're going to have. So, let me just begin by giving you an overview. So, what is this workshop really all about? There are actually four objectives that we want to achieve, and for every one of you joining the school for the very first time, we would like to actually let you know that we share this with every single student that go through our system over here. And we feel that the lessons that we can derive from this set of workshops can be very valuable and applying it in a lot of aspects of your life, right? So let's identify the first item, which is to identify your leadership strengths and weaknesses. I think getting to know ourselves is actually quite an important step to take. There are many people who go through their life without truly knowing their own strengths and weaknesses. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean that we are actually fixed to a certain characteristics or personality. Strengths is something that we develop. Weaknesses is also something that we can work on, right? So nothing is permanent, but it is to identify our current state so that we have a clarity on how we can actually continue to grow and evolve from here. The second point is to clarify and communicate your fundamental values and beliefs. Well, everybody values something different, right? So something that's valuable to person A will be very different from something that's valuable to person B. So what exactly do you find valuable? What aspects of your life do you feel is the most important? That is something that is worth investigating, as well as to really understand the beliefs that we hold that will actually complement the values that we actually cherish. So this is something that we'll look at. Part three, third objective is to set an example for others by aligning your actions with shared value. So what happened is that leadership, in a nutshell, right, a quick summary, is to actually unite people who have the same values, right? So when you unite people with the same values, it is a shared values. And then when you have a group of people with shared values, they will be able to push one another to really achieve something larger than themselves, right? And point number four is to recognize the accomplishment of others. So just now we mentioned leadership is really about influencing one another for a shared value. Therefore, it is never a lonely journey, right? We need to actually recognize the contributions of others, how they influence you and how you influence others. So these are the four objectives that we want to actually achieve through this series of workshops. So let's continue. Right. So firstly, leadership is everyone's business, right? Everyone needs to exhibit some form of leadership. Of course, when we talk about leaders, sometimes we imagine that there's a group of people and there's one person who represents the group. Now, notice I use the word represent, right? So in certain scenarios, certain cases, when you have a group, you do need someone to represent the whole group. However, because it is a group and everyone has a role to part, everyone actually influence others. And as long as you are influencing one another, leadership takes place, because when you have good leadership, you influence others in a positive manner. And when you do not have the right skills to be a good leader, you actually cause the group to diminish in value, right? So the first point there, we all have the opportunity to make a difference. Definitely, because we interact with one another, we will make a difference, right? In one another's outlook, beliefs, thinking, and so on. The next point, you can make an even greater positive difference than you are now. Everyone can learn to be a better leader. So leadership is not something that is born. No one is born with it. It is something that we learn and we build up the skill set as we advance and grow, right? So, yep, you can make a greater positive difference because everyone can learn and develop these leadership skills. Next point, wanting to lead and believing that you can lead are the starting points of leadership development? I think this is very straightforward. If you want to learn, there are a lot of opportunities to learn. However, if you don't want to, then no amount of coercing and information dumping on you is going to work. So that's why we encourage you to come in. First thing, have an open mind, be ready to learn, be ready to develop. Next point, it is a journey of self-discovery and a commitment to guide others along, right? So we know that we are here influencing one another, and because we have an impact on other people's life, we have a commitment to want to actually grow together, all right? So there's this quote that is worth thinking and meditating through. Don't go where the path may lead you. Instead, go where there is no path and leave a trail. To innovate, to try something new, that is also something that a good leader will aspire to. So leadership is like orienteering. So you just had your orientation to the school. So when you are orienteering, what's happening, right? You actually come to a new place, a new environment. No one is actually observing you. You decide to find your own way. You decide whether you want to help others find theirs. You meet new people, you form new groups, and you chart your way to success together, right? So that is already leadership being in play. So here's the first activity. So think back, right? I'm sure you had the opportunity, definitely, right, to be participating in a lot of projects. So think back to an incident when you think you have performed at your personal best, right? Sometimes we do so many projects, so many things that we do, we know in our heart that sometimes we put in 100% of effort. Sometimes we just want to meet the requirement so that the person who's giving us the task do not, nag at us or something like that. So when you give your 100%, I'm sure if you think back, there must be a few incidents, or some of you many incidents, right? So think of an incident when you give 100%. Okay, some examples could be when you lead a discussion, you really want everyone to participate in the best manner, and then you really facilitate the discussion. Or you plan an activity, okay, could be for your CCA or otherwise, or you even organize a school event like Teachers' Day celebrations or something, the Chinese New Year celebration or something along that line. If you are participating in it and you gave your all, think back through, right? So after you think about this incident where you gave your best, few things you need to do in the hard copy handout that is given to you. Write down, describe what happened. That's the first point. What are some factors that help to create this success? Because if you had a successful event, there are many factors. It's not just because you put in 100% that things will work out, right? So what are some of the other factors? Think about some of the problems or difficulty that you face and how you overcome them, right? So because you overcome them, that's why the sense of accomplishment is there. And what are some lessons that you have learned through this experience, all right? So take your time. Okay, so write down what you can, and then we'll continue the discussions after you're done with this, done with your writing. So that's the first part of this workshop. Your time.